All right, friends, welcome back to quiz review questions 11 through 20, week one. All right, so now we're looking at magnetic reconnaissance angiography. That acronym would be MRA for that service, by the way, of the pelvis without contrast. So those are our details. You could start at the pelvis. You could start with the word magnetic reconnaissance angiography, or maybe in the index go to MRA. I'm going to come over here to my index really quick. You could probably even start with pelvis too, right? Remember, you can also look up in your index by organ or anatomical site. Okay. Let's see here. So let's see what I land on first. If I land closer to the N's or the P's. N's. There we go. Let's see, here we go. Magnetic resonance angiography, MRA. Okay, now we're looking for anatomic site, pelvis, click, boop. And then look for our last detail here, without contrast. So 72198 covers you, whether there was contrast used or not. Okay, all right, so that would be your final answer, 72198. All right, next up. Transvaginal ultrasound of a pregnant uterus using real-time image documentation. I feel like we did something really similar to this in our practice code pack. All right, so transvaginal, what does that mean? Well, there's a couple different ways you can do ultrasounds, right? So you can, and we're talking about obstetric here, just to give you an example. For my ladies out there, they've put that cold lubricant on your belly and they'll do that scan over the top of your belly, or they can also take this wand, okay? And this is your transvaginal ultrasound. It looks like a wand, but and they insert it through the vagina, and that's how they perform the ultrasound. So when they say transvaginal, that is an approach. That's my point to that. Okay. All right. So that's an important detail because there are different surgical approaches or different approaches to specific procedures. Okay. Um, so we could go over to our index on this one and go to ultrasound, vaginal or obstetric. Probably going to do best with going to um, ultrasound and then look for obstetric because this is specific to a pregnant uterus. All right, so I'm just going to come over here, get to my U's quickly as possible. All right, there we go. So ulna, ultrasound. There we go, pregnant uterus. And now we got to look through these codes to figure out which one is going to be our transvaginal. All right, so you would, at this point, you would just click on that code range, and then we're going to start looking through here. This one includes fetal and maternal evaluation. No, this one as well includes fetal and maternal evaluation. We don't have any of those details. Here we go. Transvaginal. 76817. So you have a lot of choices, right? And if you watched my other video on using your code pack, we went through some of these different selections, which is why I kind of skimmed through it on this one just to get us to the correct answer. So 76817. If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it. All right. I feel like this is a practice one we did as well. Question 13, 2-view, chest x-ray, frontal and lateral. So I wouldn't even go over to my index in this one. I would just go right over to radiology, and which would be your tabular section. And chest has its own anatomic section. So it goes head and neck. And then it's after that, you're going to go down to chest and then frontal and lateral. That's views, right? So that would be 2 views. Oh, it actually tells you that. Duh. So 2 view chest x-ray is going to be 71046. Okay. Okay. All right, up next, we have a CT scan of the brain without contrast medium enhancement. All right, so here's one where we probably could go back up. Actually, I'm going to see if I can go back up to the head and see what's listed there in the head section. I'm not even going to use my index on this one. We're already in the right area. So what am I looking for? Brain. Okay, so here we go. All right, so just a FYI, okay, I'm in the head neck tabular section of your CPT manual. I decided just to stay here. I know my brain is in my head, so it's got to be part of these codes right here. And I'm just kind of skimming through, and then I find 70450. That gives me my CT, computed tomography, head or brain without contrast material. 70450. Okay. All right. Question 15. This would be 1 megavolt of radiation treatment delivery to a single area. So the service is radiation treatment delivery. That would be your procedure, right? And then, so you could look it up this way. This is all, that's respiratory, nervous system, auditory. Here we go. Radiation treatment delivery. So you could go right here and just start there inside of your tabular section. Oh, look at this. Check out these guidelines, okay? So this is really important. I'm going to read this section. It's the reason I highlighted it. So all treatment delivery codes are reported once per treatment session. Radiation treatment delivery with conventional X-ray or electron beams is assigned levels of complexity based on number of treatment sites and complexity of treatment. So was there fields blocking, wedges, virtual physical tissue compensators, etc. A simple block is a straight edge or approximation of a straight edge by a multi-leaf collimator. I don't even honestly know what that is. Energy of the mega voltage does not contribute to complexity. Okay, so we don't have to really worry about this. What you're worried about is detail of single area. Radiation treatment delivery, single area. Again, this does not contribute to the complexity. So a lot more to go, but I wanted to highlight, show you what else I highlighted under definitions. Simple. All of the following criteria are met. So radiation treatment delivery, mega voltage, any energy. So this could have been 5 and you'd still come up with the same answer. Because that's not what changes the code selection. It's about the complexity of the treatment delivery, not the voltage radiation, mega voltage. So single treatment area is simple. And so we've got single area. Great. So when you come down here, you're going to see that radiation treatment delivery, 1 MeV simple. Okay, now I know that we had single area, but remember, simple equals single treatment area. Okay, another reason to read those guidelines. So your final answer on this one is going to be 77402. All right. All right, let's go to 16. We have an X-ray exam of the right internal auditory meatus. All right, even if we didn't know what meatus was, auditory makes me think that's got to be our ears. Now I'm thinking, my ears are on my head too. I wonder if that is where my code is going to reside at. So I'm going to go over to the beginning of my diagnostic imaging section in my tabular section. Skim through my pages here. And I'm curious if I would just be able to find it. Eye, mandible, mastoids, internal auditory meati. Internal auditory meatus. It's the same thing. There you go. 70134. All right, number 17. Real-time chest ultrasound, including mediastinum. All right, so you could skim through here till you got, oops, now I clicked us out of the right area. All right, so what you could do, right, let's practice with this one. You could, real time might actually be a very specific detail. So how about we just click on real-time chest ultrasound, get rid of that comma, and see how close we can get just by doing a search. If not, I would go ultrasound in my index, I would go to chest, and then look for those details of real time and including mediastinum. And there we go. So again, a couple different ways you can search in your throughout your book. So this one says includes mediastinum, real time. Let's go over and check this one out. All right, let me scroll up here and get rid of the search. Nice. So notice we changed sections. We went from X-ray and we went to ultrasounds. And now it goes again, head, neck, chest, right? And then there's your 76604 ultrasound chest real time includes mediastinum. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I have not yet figured out how to unhighlight. If you figure that out, let me know. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, so this one was 76604. All right, let's move on to question 18. Question 18 is a complete abdominal ultrasound using real time with image documentation. Ah, nice. Well, I'm already over here in the ultrasound section. Why don't I just keep on scrolling? Oh, look at that. Abdomen. Yes. Sweet. I don't think we're going to have to go too far here. Ultrasound, abdominal, real time, image documentation, complete. Check, check, check. There you go. 76700. All right. Now we've got, let's see, number 19 is X-ray, 2 view per side, 2 views per side, mastoids. Okay, so mastoids, you got to think your face, you got to think your head, right? So you got masseter muscles that are in your head, your jaw structure. So knowing as you get comfortable and get to know and grow in your knowledge of anatomy, that's also going to make it really it's going to be really helpful for you when you're navigating and trying to decide where to go. If you don't want to go right to your index, how else would you look this up? Well, you'd have to know where your mastoids are. And of course, I always encourage, if you're not sure what something is, Google it, right? That way you're covering your bases. You're not just taking a stab at it. All right, so since we know that this was an X-ray and we know our mastoids are in our head, I'm thinking I'm just going to come over here, back over head and neck, and I'm going to start looking for mastoids. There we go. So details for us, 2 view per side. So radiologic, so head and neck. Okay. And then I found mastoids. and then less than 3 views per side. That would be us because they specifically said 2 views per side. So our final answer on this one would be 70120. If you were to look this up in the index, you could go to mastoids and then x-rays, or x-ray mastoid, either way. All right, last one. Now we've got another MRA. This one's of the chest without contrast enhancement. All right, so let's have some fun here. Let's just take this last one and go to the index. And I'm going to look up magnetic reconnaissance angiography. Let's just see. Oh, actually, I think I might just stay here. I was going to use the index, but I might not. So radiology section. Okay, so what's our details? Chest without contrast. That's head and neck, head and neck, head, head, head. Here we go. Chest without. I'm going to click on this one because we do have details of without contrast medium. And that might be exactly what we need. Let's go check it out. There you go. 7155. MRA, chest, excluding myocardium with or without contrast material, 71555. Okay. Now you also could have, again, you could have used your index and you could have went over to the M's until you got to your magnetic reconnaissance, and then started to look for chest and scroll through it that way as well. So let me just take a peek here. Almost, let's look at, make this faster. There we go. So here's our MRA section. And then you would have, and if you would have went here, chest takes you the same exact code, click it, read it, compare it, submit. All right, friends, I hope this was super helpful for you guys. And look forward to these videos every week. All right, have a great rest of your day.